Hi. Okay, so today what we're going to do is I'm going to make a card, and I will show you, if you have some cardstock, how easy it is to make a card out of just plain cardstock. So if you have an 8.5 by 11, let me pull this up just a little bit. There we go. If you have an 8.5 by 11 sheet, what you do is you cut it when it's laying longwise like this. You cut it in the middle, and so then we fold these. And so I've already done that. So let me show you. I have my two pieces, and I'm going to take one of them, and I'm going to fold it in half because I'm only going to work on one today. Just make sure that's good and tight, and then you have a card. And paint it, I'm going to open it up and paint on this side. Okay, let's take it down again so we can watch paint dry. So the next thing you're going to need are your brushes. So I have two Scruffies. I have the 1/2 and I have the 1/4. I'll probably use the 1/4. I have my water. There we go. I have my water. You're also going to need a number 2 script liner and a 12 flat, so you get your chisel. And I'm going to practice putting together the things that I've practiced on this week. And so then I have my paints. I have citrus green multi-surface, and I have Sap Green. The multi-surface is nice, and you can tell it's multi-surface because then it has these, you can paint it on glass, wood, metal, and paper. And I have Wicker White, and we're going to add, I don't want purple, I want magenta. There we go, we're going to do magenta. So we have 4 colors today. And I'm going to start with, now this is my tray from practicing yesterday, and I have yellow. You don't need yellow, but I do have the green and white, and I'm going to start with the green and white first. So let's go ahead and take our brush, get it wet, and then dry it off just a little bit in our paper towel. You just want it a little damp. Now, I'm going to remember that this is the side I want to paint on, because as we fold it, it will be like that. Okay, so I'm going to pick up just a little bit of green and a little bit of this green, and I'm going to work it in. And this is not working, and I'll tell you why. If you have I'm trying to catch it. It's underneath my table, and I'm not catching it very well. Here we go. If you have the double loader, oops, I'm gonna throw this away because they're dry. Sometimes I'll put a paper plate on them, and put it on top, and it'll stay just nice, but it dried up from last night. But if you have the double loader, this is just a really neat little tool. This will keep your paints nice and malleable, workable for about 3 to 4 weeks. So it's something to think about. I don't use it very often unless I know I'm working on a project that's going to take me a while. So I'll talk about this another time. But for now, a paper plate, again, like I said, until you are happy that you want to paint a lot, a paper plate just works fine. I just don't put a lot of paint out. So I'll be right back. I'll get my paints ready. Okay, so I forgot to tell you, I am using floating medium. So I have all fresh paint. That was just a little naughty, wasn't it? So I'm going to pick up my dark and my light green, and I'm going to work those in. Keep your brush straight up while you work the paint in, because if you start to lean over, you'll get dark or a light depending on which way you lead. So you want to kind of keep these straight up and down, and I've worked it into my brush. I'm going to pick up just a little bit to paint with. Okay, so first of all, we've already worked with the script liner to draw lines, but today we're going to go ahead and draw lines with our flat brush. And I'm going to start, maybe a finger's width from the bottom. And if you just do light strokes and then lift up, and then I'm going to do another one, because we're going to do a little picture. And I need more paint. And then I'll do one more small one. Okay, now you can put grass in with this. And keep loading. And put some more grass in. Okay, that looks good. The other thing I practiced this week were leaves, so I'm going to put a few leaves on here. And I'll start with my big one. I'm just going to put slider leaves, and so you can see I'm going to start with the dark side just a little bit closer to my stem, and I'm going to press down and out. And then of course I turned it, and I'm going to put, there we go, I'm going to get some more paint, and I'm going to take this one up. I started here. I'm going to take this one up just a little bit, and I'm going to go to the other side. So I'm going to push, and I need some floating medium. That decided it wasn't going to play very nicely. So there we go. And again, you can kind of futz with some of this. And then I'm going to draw my stem. There we go. And if you want to use a smaller brush to do some of these smaller, you could do that. I am going to enlarge this just a little bit and then do a small leaf and a small leaf. Draw my stem. Okay, and they're not perfect because this is the first thing I've done today. I didn't start with practicing strokes, but that's okay. And then I'm going to do one here. And again, don't feel bad if you turn your card so that you can do your leaves. That is not a bad thing. Okay, so there, we've done that. I'm going to go ahead and wipe off my brush on my paper towel to get the excess out, because I'm kind of done with this brush and green, and then I'm going to go ahead and clean this while we sit here, and I'm going to talk to you about, I'm going to do a daisy up here, and then we're going to do a 5-stroke leaf, and you can do a daisy or a 5-stroke leaf on either one of the other ones. But I just want to show you how you can put things together a little bit, and this is very, very simple. We're not getting fancy with this. So the next thing we're going to need then is our script liner, and we're going to use the magenta and white this time. We're going to go ahead and do a daisy on the top here. So basically, I want to have it mostly white. So you can see I'm picking up mostly white, and I'm working it into the end of my script liner. And then I'm just going to take one side and rub through there so that I have 2 colors on there. So we know that we do 6, and I'm making it small. We do 12, and I'm going to tip that just a little bit we do 9. And I'm going to turn it, and we do 3. And then we fill in around that. So I'm going to get some more paint. On the white side, I'm going to dip in the white, and then in the pink side, I'll dip in the pink. And then I'm just going to start filling in. You might want to go in the middle and then do the ends. You might want to start near 1 and then just draw 2. Yeah, however you feel you want your daisy to be. And I have a lot of paint on here. I am going to get just a little bit more white. Okay. So after we've done that, you can decide if you want to do another daisy. Go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and do another daisy since my brush is loaded so nicely. I'll start with the 6, the 12, the 9, and then the 3. And you can see I'm rotating my brush so that I can use all the paint that's on here. And I'm going to get some more white and some more pink, and then I'm going to fill in. And then what we're going to do is we're going to clean out our brush, the script liner. So I'm going to go ahead and use my towel first to get the most of the paint off, and then I do it in water. And I keep swishing back and forth and back and forth. Now I'm going to get a clean paper towel because I've used that several days. And so there's my paper towel. And what I'm going to do then is I'm going to get a smaller brush. I have a size 8. And I'm going to do a flower right here, and we're going to do a 5 petal. Now we did practice a little bit of that. And I'm going to pick up some pink. And I'm going to try and get some of the fresh. I don't want to get it mixed. And I'm going to work it in. And again, keep your brush up and down. And work it into your brush. You can side load if you need to. Okay. Now, we did practice this. I'm going to turn mine around and start on my bottom. So I'm going to put the dark, on the inside. So we go ahead and put our brush down. We smish out our brushes, bring it back up onto our chisel to finish it. And I'm going to get some more paint. Okay, and these are going to overlap, and that's okay. So then I'm going to smish, bring it up, get some more paint. And you're making like a gingerbread man with arms and legs and a head. And I'm going to smish this out here. And I only have one more, and I'm going to get fresh paint for that. So you saw what I did with that one. I painted on one side first, and then coming the other way, I did the other one. And don't feel bad to go around and see I switched my colors that way. Okay, so I'm going to clean out my brush on my paper towel, and then I'll clean it in here. So the next thing that we want to do is we're going to go ahead and get our Scruffy brush, and I'm going to use the little one. Now you can use the big one. You just have to remember to just paint with one side of it. But since I have a little one, I'm going to go ahead and I am going to get a little bit of yellow. This is daffodil yellow. You can use, actually I'm going to use the moon yellow. and I'm going to put my center in here like that. But you could use green and white. Green and white would make a very nice center. Either one of these greens and white would make a very nice center. Okay, so with our Scruffy brush, you want to kind of make sure that they're opened a little bit. Your bristles are open just a little bit. You don't want to wet this. We use this. Here, I'll show you again. I'm sorry, it was out of focus. We kind of open our brush up a little bit like that. And then we don't wet this brush, we use it dry. So I'm going to pick up just a little bit of yellow, you can see on one end, and I'm going to pick up some dark green on the other. And then what I'm going to do on my paper plate is I'm going to pounce to kind of work that into the bristles. And you can see I keep the yellow on one side and the green on the other side. And then I'm going to pick up some more yellow on the yellow side, green on the green side, and pounce it in again. You don't have to pounce it too much the second time. So I'm going to start with this one. Now, this is a very small flower, so I do want to be cautious. Even this very smallest ½ or ¼ pouncer Scruffy brush is too much. So I am going to use just the end of the green, and I'm going to come around and I'm going to pounce a little bit. Okay, and then I'm going to take my yellow under there and pounce just a little bit there. Now, since this one's a little bigger, I can just go ahead and pounce. You want to keep your pouncing brush the same direction all the time. You don't want to rotate it like that. You want to keep it the same. And this one, I'm going to put the green at the top again, and I'm going to pounce, 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 pounce. I got a little bit too much. Then I'm going to come down and do some more down here. Okay. Now with the 5-petal one, we don't need a whole lot. You can either use the pounce and just hit it once with a color. Use yellow. Or you can go ahead and use your little script liner and just make little dots in there. Now, this is the brush that I was telling you about. We were working on this yesterday. Let's go ahead and get our clean script liner and load it up with just a little bit of white. Okay. And then this is the one where you can draw little veins on your flower. And you want to do very lightly. Okay. Now the second way you can use your script liner, the next way you can use your script liner is to make an inky puddle. That's where you get a little water on your brush and you come into one of your colors, whichever you want, the pink, green. Pink or green would be the prettiest, and you make a nice little inky puddle. And you can kind of see it's getting very wet. Then you can pull it out, yep. And this is where we're going to put some curlicues. And I'll put a curlicue here, and maybe one here, and maybe one down here. Okay. The other thing you do with the inky is you sign your name. And I'm going to put my initials. Okay. You can barely tell, but that's okay. So you might want to put another inky. Yeah, not too many, just a few. And you have a card. Now, this would make just a nice little card to tell somebody you're thinking about them. And cards are very easy to make. Once they're dry, you just put them in an envelope and mail them off. I hope you've enjoyed this. This has been a little bit of fun. It's not perfect, but like I said, this is the first thing I've practiced today. Sometimes I'll sit and I'll practice strokes before I start something like this. But these are always fun. And if you have people who work in a nursing home, if you make a bunch of these, the older people really enjoy getting a card like this. So keep that in mind. Okay, I'm really glad that you came and joined me today, and I will see you again. Bye-bye.